Good evening, students. This is Dr. Shubhi, and today we will be discussing a very interesting topic of research, which is called as hypothesis. Now, as the word suggests, hypothesis is a very commonly used word which literally means some kind of assumption or some kind of a clear statement, which is a particular thought imprinted on our minds, and that thought gives us a kind of a boost to go for a research. Quickly see what we will be discussing in this lecture. We will try to understand the definition of hypothesis, types of hypothesis, characteristics, importance, contribution, functions, and the references used. So quickly see what is the definition of a hypothesis. You can say it is an intelligent guess or prediction. For example, I always keep on saying that increase in carbon is increasing the temperature in the climate. So is it a guess or is it a prediction? So this statement gives a direction to the researcher to answer this question, that how far this is true, because we cannot just create gossips. We have to, whenever we are giving or we are saying something, we have to come up with some statistics, some data, and then support our prediction or guess with that particular statistics that we have collected to support our statement. For example, one very commonly used statement is that increase in temperature increases the sale of cold drinks, which is true, because when the temperature rises, you feel like having a lot of cold drinks and a lot of cold chilled water, so that you can survive in that heat, or you can beat the heat. So this is one statement, or I can say this can be treated as a hypothesis. Now, how far this is true? I cannot say that increase in temperature will definitely increase the sale of cold drinks. It might increase the sale of something else like ice creams or chas, or maybe something else. So how far it is true, that we have to find out, because if we can find out the truth in such kind of statements, that whether they are right or wrong, then only we can think of some kind of business. So we can say now that hypothesis is a research problem. It is a research problem which is boggling in our mind, and it has an objective where there is a clear explanation or prediction of the results. When I say prediction of the results, it means that I'm saying yes, it will be true or it will be false. So hypothesis is a problem which is there in my mind, and I'm trying to find out whether it is true or not. And if it is true, it is applicable to what percentage of population, and if it is false, it is applicable to what percentage of the total population. We can also say that hypothesis is a formal statement. Formal means it is a statement which is written in clear words, and we have some kind of variables existing in those statements. Variables are related to each other. There can be one variable, two variables, and then those variables also tell us that how the variables are related, whether they are related in the inverse direction, whether they are inversely proportional or directly proportional. So we can sum up with the definition, or you can say we can sum up with a line, that hypothesis is a clear explanation or prediction which is written by a researcher, and a researcher is trying to find out whether the hypothesis is true or not. Now let's come to type of hypothesis. When we talk of hypothesis, then we definitely see there are a variety of hypotheses, and each hypothesis is termed under a particular category. The first one is simple hypothesis. Let's have a look on this slide. So this slide says that simple hypothesis is one in which there exists a relationship between two variables where one variable is independent variable or the cause and the other one is the dependent variable or the effect. So we can say that simple hypothesis is one in which there is a cause and effect relationship. And when there is a cause and effect relationship, there has to be at least two variables. For example, smoking leads to lung cancer. So now here smoking is one variable and lung cancer is the second variable. If we say smoking leads to lung cancer, is it true or is it false? Because I have just given a hypothesis that according to me smoking leads to lung cancer, but then how far it is true? So to find out the truth, we have to conduct surveys, we have to find out what is the outcome of the survey, how much the data of the survey is matching with the results of the population, the 100% population, and how much is the error or the difference between the sample surveys and the population um, results. And thus, we can say that the hypothesis is true or not. So if the hypothesis is accepted, it is true, it is accepted, then we do something, we take certain actions, and if it is rejected, in that case, we have to do something else. So that is how research works. Take one more example, like the higher ratio of unemployment leads to increase in crimes. Now, we can say, yes, this can be true, because if there is unemployment, everyone will look for bread and butter for daily living. And definitely, if they are not getting any job, they might get attracted to something wrong so that they get some quick money and then they can have their bread and butter. Because unemployment is a big issue and we can always relate that to crime. So, this is a simple hypothesis that the higher the ratio of unemployment, the higher will be the crime rate. So we can always say it is a simple hypothesis because there are just two variables. One variable is the cause, is the reason, and the other variable is the effect or the repercussions of the reason. So we say it is a cause and effect relationship. Now let's come to complex hypothesis. In complex hypothesis, as we have seen, the variables increase. It is a hypothesis in which the relationship is between multiple variables. In this type of hypothesis, few are the dependent variables and few are independent variables. Now quickly come to the example to understand. For example, smoking and other drugs leads to cancer, tension and chest infection. So now there are two variables which are the we can say are the independent variables that we are taking. If we smoke, that is one variable, and we take medicines like anything, like you take Combiflam or you take any medicine without consulting a doctor, and then you consume so much of chemicals in your body, and then it can lead to cancer or tension or any kind of infection, allergies. So these two are the independent variables, smoking and consuming drugs, and it is leading to three types of illness. Then there are three dependent variables. So there are five variables in this hypothesis. So this is a complex hypothesis because here we have to understand that what percentage of smoking affects cancer and what percentage of other drugs in taking other drugs leads to cancer. Likewise, what ratio of smoking and other medicines lead to tension or chest infection. So we are dealing with five variables over here. Let's take one more example, that higher ratio of unemployment, poverty and illiteracy leads to crime like dacoit. So here we are saying if there is unemployment, there is poverty and there is illiteracy. There are three things. So these are the three things which are leading to crime rate. So three variables are deciding crimes, and in crimes also there is a category. Okay, so these three variables are the independent variables and two are the dependent variables, which means our independent variables are the variables which are there existing in the society, and these variables are leading to some kind of issues or problems in the society. So this is again a very complex hypothesis, and we have to understand that how to frame a hypothesis, because we can frame a hypothesis, but once we start framing a hypothesis for a research problem, we come to know that more the number of variables, more complex your research becomes, because you have to deal with so many variables. Now let's come to another kind of hypothesis, which is called as empirical hypothesis. Now empirical hypothesis is based totally on evidences. Like if I have the evidence, I can say something. In scientific methods, the word empirical refers to the use of working hypotheses that can be tested using observations and experiments. So when I'm saying something on the basis of experiments, then I say it is an empirical hypothesis. For example, now let's take one very common example of say working in kitchen. So I can say to quickly make a batter of idli, the ratio of the rice and urud dal is 2.5 is to 1. So now this is what 2.5 cups of rice and 1 cup of urud dal. So we are actually setting a hypothesis that this ratio will if you use the batter in this ratio, then you will have a very good formation of idlis, and otherwise they might become hard or maybe very soft, or they might not, you may not be able to cook them properly. So this is what, this is a scientific method where I'm saying on the basis of certain experiments. People have done experiments repeated number of times, maybe with a ratio of 3 is to 1 or with a ratio of 4 is to 1, 5 is to 1, and finally they came to the conclusion that 2.5 cups of rice is to 1 cup of urad dal is the right composition which will bring good idlis on the dining table. So that is how we have set a hypothesis. So this hypothesis is set because we have tested it and we have observed it and we have done a lot of experimenting, doing the making it again and again, and then we came to know. So this was one example from the kitchen, because people can understand in simple language very well. Likewise, we can have a lot of empirical hypothesis with the help of experiments and observations done in past by other researchers, and then also we can have some kinds of hypothesis. One very commonly used hypothesis is in the question form. Now it is the simplest form of empirical hypothesis, which is basically written by imposing a question. When we state something in the form of a question, it is called as a question form of hypothesis. How's the ability of 12th class students in learning moral values? Now this is a question, that what is the ability of 12th class students in learning a moral value? And this is a question which is boggling in my mind. Suppose I'm thinking that can they learn at that age? Can they learn if in class 12 we implement? Can they learn? So I will be conducting a survey on this. So this is a question form, and I can understand from the past results, past experiments, and history data, I can understand that what was the result. So this is a question form of hypothesis. Next, we will be discussing null hypothesis, which is very important. I'm signing out from YouTube. You can see my next part of this video, and stay tuned to my channel, Shubhi Lal.